Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to be taking a look at the question, how can we utilize artificial intelligence in education? And this is part of our week 5 learning goal, right? Looking at these emerging technologies. Specifically today, we're going to look at AI generated visual media. Now, today's presentation might look a little different. That's because these materials were adapted from a presentation I gave at a conference in Sight in March. So just wanted to throw that out there, and for copyright purposes, this material has been presented before, but that's why this looks a little different today. Now, before we get started going over all the different AI tools, I want to talk a little bit about AI tools in general. Okay, there's a lot of different technologies going on and a lot of different approaches that these techs are using to do these different things. I think as educators, though, it's important not to get too caught up into the wash of the technical details. Right? We want to be able to use these AI applications. We don't need to necessarily understand exactly how they work. So that's why I like looking at AI with a black box approach. Okay, this is an idea borrowed from science, but it's essentially these machine learning applications are some kind of black box. Something is happening inside this box, but we're not quite sure what. We do know that if we plug in an input, we get out something different. Okay, so that's how I think of AI tools, is there's an input, the tool runs its AI, and then there's an output. Okay, we don't have to get too much into the nitty-gritty of machine learning and the details of how that works. We just really want to learn how these different applications can turn one input into a different output. And I think one of the most mainstream ideas when people think of AI is text-to-text generation. Right, that's the idea that we take a program. Most people know ChatGPT. We plug text in. Maybe there's a prompt or a question, and we're going to get text out from ChatGPT, right? There's going to be text summaries, lists, that sort of thing. So the first type of tool is text-to-text generation. We put text in, we get text out. Right, this obviously has a lot of instructional uses. Okay, if we're looking at designing instructional videos, we can use ChatGPT to create outlines, to create scripts, or to create actual text content that we're going to use in our videos down the line. So a lot of uses here with ChatGPT. If we take a look at what ChatGPT looks like, we can feed a question into the system. Okay. Here, I asked ChatGPT to write a script for an instructional video on the scientific method. And you can see on the left, it gives me a breakdown. It describes scene by scene what's going on. It gives us details of the specific scenes and what we should see. Okay. And it really kind of builds this scene, this scenario of describing that scientific method. And we can also ask ChatGPT to what is the scientific method instead of writing a script, and it'll just give us text content, right? So if you want to create that scenario, if you want to create that scene, you can have ChatGPT do that. And if you just need content that you can build around, you can also just ask it a question directly. Okay, but you can see how this is really useful if you're creating these videos, especially in an area you might not know as much content, or you might want something to kind of get started with, even though you are an expert in the area. We also have text-to-image generation. Okay, tools that take in text and generate images. For example, Magic Studio is one such app that uses AI to take in a text prompt or question, and it'll give you back some kind of art, a photo, or a drawing. And another option is an app called Crayon. Okay, there's tons of these different apps out there. If one company has figured out how to do something in AI, there's a good chance that 10 companies have figured out how to do that exact same thing. But let's take a look. What does this look like, right? Well, with Magic Studio, I think I asked it here to create an image of a video recording studio, and you can see how Magic Studio gives us kind of this gentleman brooding in this room. The keyboard in the background, speakers everywhere, right? Or in Crayon, we get a little more kind of electronic-based computer-based studio. You can see how the AIs kind of took it in a different direction. But right, AI is great at creating these images. Now, I would be careful about using AI to create representational images, right? AI isn't good at accurate images yet. They're good at coming up with something, but it might be missing parts, okay? Maybe you've noticed, maybe you haven't. The gentleman on the left has a right leg, but no left leg, right? Or his arm, it looks like, is kind of shifting into the chair, right? So there are these little details that AI isn't great at yet. So it's usually you can spot AI artwork if you know kind of what to look for, but it does create kind of some awesome decorative photos or some more creative artistic photos if you want something that matches kind of a niche concept as kind of a joke or funny image. I think AI is great, but there are a lot of tools there for right text to image generation. Now, a little less talked about, but there's also text to video generation in these different AI apps. And for example, an app like Synthesia, you can enter in a text script and an avatar video with voiceover will record it for you. Okay, so if you want to create a picture of kind of this robotic person, this avatar reading something off or explaining something to someone, Synthesia is a great option for that, kind of that avatar narrator. Or you could check out the app Pictory, which also takes in that text script. But what Pictory does is it creates scene-based video with voiceover, right? It goes and it finds different stock videos and it clips them together along with a voiceover to make kind of a coherent video. Okay, so there's some cool options there. So here we have a screenshot of Synthesia. You can see one of these avatars, right? These AI narrators, essentially. And obviously, these have a ton of use in instructional videos, right? We can create a video of a person talking to create a video directly, or we can utilize picture-in-picture narrators to create an AI narrator on the side of the screen. Similar to me narrating this PowerPoint right now, right? AI can also do some of that some of those things. So next, let's check out the demo. So let me open that up. So here I just have a quick example for you guys on what Synthesia can do. Okay, this is a bit of a pricier software. I think they charge by the minute with how their subscription model works, but obviously very powerful. You can feed in text and you get out essentially a person, an avatar, right? Kind of reading off this text. For this example, I actually used the text about the scientific method that ChatGPT made for us earlier in this video. Okay, so that's something I think is really cool. We can use prompts to generate text in ChatGPT and then turn those into videos using some of these other apps. So let's check out Synthesia here.
The scientific method is a systematic approach used by scientists to investigate natural phenomena, acquire new knowledge, or refine existing understanding.
Okay, so you can see what she's capable of there, right? It's this avatar, it's voiceover narration, essentially. It is definitely a bit robotic, so Mayer's principles might be a little bit in violation here, but I think we can all see that the technology for this is early still, and it's going to grow. So I'm really eager to see kind of where this leads. And then here we have another video generation option in Pictory. This is the one that kind of utilizes the stock video along with that narrator voiceover. And once again, we can use this technology to create instructional videos directly or to create annotated slideshows. So this is kind of a cool one as well. So let's take a look at Pictory next. Okay, so here is another one of those video generators from AI called Pictory. This one takes kind of stock video, voiceover narration, as well as on-screen captions and kind of mixes them together to create videos. I apologize, this one doesn't go full screen, so we'll just have to watch it in the window here for the preview of it, and we'll jump around a little bit because this is 3 minutes, but let's check out Pictory.
The scientific method is a systematic approach used by scientists to investigate natural phenomena, acquire new knowledge, or refine existing understanding. It's essentially a series of steps that scientists follow to ensure their experiments and studies are conducted in a logical, objective, and replicable manner. Here are the key steps of the scientific method. Observation. Scientists observe a phenomenon, or
Okay, so you can kind of see the idea there at the bottom on our timeline here. You can see the different scenes. Okay, so they're cutting these different stock video clips together to try to kind of paint this picture of the scientific method for us.
this observation often leads to asking
And you can see kind of the
questions
interesting
about how
stuff they come up with.
hypothesis, based on their observations and
I wouldn't say
prior
this is
knowledge,
polished or
scientists
finalized yet. This is
formulate
maybe a good place to
hypothesis,
start
which is a tentative
with your
explanation or
videos, but I
prediction
would
about the
definitely be
phenomenon.
careful
A
about
hypothesis
using anything without fact checking first. Some things it's not good at. Like I tried to put some math questions in here, and it just threw random stock video clips of solving different math problems. Right, it was not accurate at all. So be very careful, but definitely an interesting way to generate video, and definitely something I see in my personal life popping up on YouTube, on TikTok, on the little YouTube shorts. Right, you'll pick up, once you've worked in these programs, you'll pick up on that AI voice. You'll notice that this is just stock video being cut together, and you're like, holy cow, like no one made this video. I'm watching AI explain something to me. Like, so it's interesting. But that's Pictory for you. One of those AI video generators. Now there's text to video generation, but there's also the flip side, where you can input a video and get text out. Right? So how might this be useful with our AI tools? Let's check it out. Well, a program like Speechify takes in a video file and will give you out a video with text subtitles. So if you want to use AI to generate subtitles and add them into your video, right? There's AI programs that can do that. The program Descript takes a video or audio file and gives you out a text transcript. Okay, this is really good for all my qualitative researchers out there, right? If you're doing interviews and you want to turn something into a text transcript, right? Check out Descript. Check out AI's ability to do that. As far as Speechify goes, here's an example. Okay, essentially, you plug in a video with a narrator talking, and it will create these kind of captions for your video, right? These boxes overlaid that's telling the user what's going on. So this is great for adding subtitles to pre-existing videos. It's also great for creating translated subtitles. Okay, so now we're getting into the accessibility area, which is also, I think, really powerful with AI. Okay, what if these narrators could speak in a different language? Or if you could introduce these text subtitles in a different language? You know, something I think is really cool. What if we have one of those avatars from Synthesia, but they know sign language? How cool would that be if we could add sign language subtitles with an AI avatar into our videos? But just a lot of cool accessibility things out there. As far as Descript goes, okay, Descript lets you upload a video, and then you get back that script. Descript is very well named. You plug in a video, you get back a script of the video. Okay, obviously this is great to create transcripts of pre-existing videos. Okay, maybe you have a backlog of recorded videos from a professor, and we want to get some transcripts of that to use moving forward, right? This would be a great option to get all that into a text-based format so that you can work with that. And this is also really good at transcribing interviews or research notes, right? So on the educational sides of things, if you guys are doing research, anything qualitative, I would check out Descript. All right, and finally, we have video to video generation. Okay, this allows us to take a tool like Adobe Podcast, plug in a video or audio file, and we get out a file with edited audio. Okay, so your Adobe Podcast has AI tools to kind of level off volumes, maybe cut different parts out that shouldn't be there, right? So that lots of AI tools out there, guys. Lots of good stuff. A program like CapCut you can plug in a video file and it will actually try to edit the video for you, right? So we can use kind of video editing AI tools as well. So let's check some of these out. Okay, with Adobe Podcast, we can drag in our MP4 or MP3, tell it to enhance the speech, tell it to tweak different things, right? Obviously, this is great because it allows us to kind of remove some background noise from our instructional videos using these AI kind of audio editors. Allows us to streamline volume levels. Okay, if your volume's jumping all over the place, AI can help with that. Maybe it's something that you can't re-record, right? In a live interview, something like that, where maybe the person you're interviewing is pretty quiet. Well, let's check out Adobe Podcast. Maybe they can clean some of that up for us, right? Boost that individual's volume. Okay, CapCut is another example. Okay, this is essentially an AI video editor, or a video editor with AI tools, I should say. Okay, so you can do things here like adjust video lighting and sharpening automatically. You can add unique effects with different AI filters, right? I think a lot of people have seen these. These are everywhere on TikTok and Instagram and these different phone apps, right? They have all these cool filters. Well, we can do that professionally as well to add in, cool backgrounds and that sort of thing. So I think, we have one more topic. This technology can also generate backgrounds and add them in, similar to how they would with the filters. So just a lot of cool options out there, guys. A lot of different tools, a lot of different things that AI is opening up that you would have to do manually in great detail before, but AI can at least do a decent job of a lot of those things now, if you give it a chance and if you're willing to learn these programs and kind of work with them. So a lot of interesting stuff. Okay, and I just wanted to wrap this up with some closing thoughts on AI and AI tools. I think it's really exciting. We're kind of in this tech revolution where we're going to see what AI does tech-wise, especially in the field of education. I think it's going to have a massive impact. Whether that will be a good impact or a bad impact, I think depends on the instructional designers and teachers and technologists out there and how we utilize these tools and how we bring them in and how we make sure students are using them correctly. Personally, I've had a student use AI to write me a thank you letter that I noticed immediately because he gave me a letter that was not at all our relationship. Thanking me for being this great mentor and inspiring him when usually I'm just yelling at him to get to work. But I thought that was really funny, but a great example of how kind of intrusive these apps are going to be, right? A student's English teacher in freshman year of high school told him, hey, write a letter to your favorite teacher. And he chose to let AI write me a letter instead. So that's a real thing. It's coming. It's here in a lot of ways. There are detectors that let you kind of detect if something was written by AI, but it's tough. It's a new technology landscape. But just some other thoughts I have on it. There are lots of AI tools available to help develop instructional videos or other instructional media. And these tools also help increase their accessibility, which is really exciting for me, right? These AI tools allow us to kind of outsource our workload to computers, and as a result, we should have more accessibility and more people able to learn. And I think that's really cool, right? Whereas before, subtitles were very difficult to generate and would take a lot of time for an individual to put in their videos. Now it's as easy as dragging your video into an AI app, and they'll at least have something. It might not be perfect yet, but they'll at least have some type of subtitle. So it's exciting. It's really exciting. These AI tools have multiple functions, and there's a lot of crossover between the tools. Okay, so some of the tools I talked about today and what they can do, they can also do other things. So a lot of our video editors also fix audio, right? Or our stock video generator can also do voiceover narration. So a lot of these tools have different options. So I would just really try to explore, figure out everything one tool can do if you decide to subscribe to it or make an account, because chances are there's a lot of different options within that program. Some features are more polished than others, but the future is bright. I really agree with this sentiment. Hey, some of these AI features you look at and you go, wow, like this is amazing. Like I can't believe a program can do this. And then other features you look at and it's like, man, this is cool, but it's not there yet, right? So there's different levels of polish. And just be aware of that. Okay, some things might be ready to use in your classroom, and some apps aren't ready yet. And that's okay, but don't try to kind of force them into the spotlight because it's AI, right? AI is popular right now, but that doesn't mean you have to use it. If the tool is not ready for the job at hand, don't use AI, right? It's as simple as that. But the future is definitely bright with these tools, right? The rate of development of these different features is exciting. So 10, 20 years, we'll see what AI is capable of. I'd imagine a lot more than today. So should be something to look forward to. Next thought, limited trials and pricey subscriptions create a barrier to entry. I think this is definitely true. Some of these trials are very short. Some of these subscriptions go down to like the minute of generated video. Okay, you get 10 minutes per month with this package. You get 20 minutes generated video with this package. So that is obviously very difficult, especially with the amount of tools out there. Okay, if there's hundreds of AI tools, but all of them want to charge you $10, $15, $20 to access them and try them out, right? It's going to be really difficult as someone in this tech world to figure out which program we should be using, right? Because there's just so many available, and a lot of them have these subscriptions and these limited trials. So that's something we're going to have to work around as the tech becomes hopefully more affordable. Hopefully these subscriptions come down. We start to see some free trials or some free versions of these programs, but it's still early though. So a lot of these AI technologies are still kind of brute forcing their way to these solutions. So that's going to be heavy on computational power. So that's why we're seeing these subscriptions everywhere. All right, last thought, ethics. So this is definitely something I believe that ethical concerns are going to play a role in the future development of this technology. Okay, when I'm looking at AI and everything it can do with these narrators and these avatars, right? Like, what are the legal status and the ethical concerns of me making an avatar of maybe a celebrity or a political figure? You know, if you created a Donald Trump or Joe Biden avatar and had them read a political speech, obviously that could have a very significant impact or effect on our nation. So I definitely think there's some ethical concerns at play with this tech that they're going to have to figure out. But as it gets better and better and better, we're going to have to make sure that, right, the fakes and people's rights and privacies are protected. So it'll be interesting. All right, we're in this AI revolution, so we'll see how it works for better or for worse. But we're all on this roller coaster, I guess, for the next 10, 20 years at least. So we'll see how this AI stuff works. Okay, so that's all the content I have for you guys today. That'll kind of wrap up our course. As far as things you guys still need to knock out, please, if you can, do that course evaluation. That's the only way the university gets feedback on this course. It's the only way I get feedback directly from you guys. The course evals are due on Thursday instead of Friday, since that's when the course technically ends. So just be aware of that. But if everyone can complete that, I would greatly appreciate it. As far as any assignments, okay, if you're still wrapping up a discussion post, wrapping up a project, okay, make sure everything is due or posted by Friday night. If you guys can submit everything but before Friday night, that'll give me this weekend to grade and then post everything. I think Monday grades are due. Okay, so please get everything in on Friday night. If there's any issues at all with that, please email me. But yeah, that's the course, guys. Thank you so much. You guys have all been great. You've been very professional, had great discussion posts. being great on keeping up with the timeline and working on projects. So some really cool, exciting things. I had a good time with this course. It's the first time I've taught it. So I hope it was effective. I hope it was interesting. Hope it was helpful. But yeah, guys, have a wonderful summer. And thanks again.